Imagine this, it's Vienna, 1846. Giving birth is one of the most dangerous things a woman can do. In one of Europe's best hospitals, the Vienna General Hospital, there are two maternity wards. In the first ward, run by doctors and medical students, the death rate for new mothers is a terrifying 18%, sometimes even spiking to over 30%. Women are literally begging on their knees not to be sent there, choosing to give birth in the street rather than face the doctor's plague. But just down the hall, in the second ward run only by midwives, the death rate is a steady, much lower to 2–3%. What on earth was going on? This mystery obsessed a young Hungarian doctor named Ignaz Semmelweis. He couldn't figure out why the doctor's ward was a death trap. He tried everything, from changing birthing positions to ringing a bell to scare away a bad spirit. Nothing worked. Then, in 1847, tragedy struck. His close friend, a professor, died after being accidentally cut by a student's scalpel during an autopsy. Semmelweis was devastated, but when he saw the autopsy report, his world stopped. The symptoms were identical to the childbed fever killing the mothers in his ward. That was his light bulb moment. The doctors and students would go directly from dissecting corpses in the morgue to delivering babies. Without washing their hands, they were carrying what he called cadaveric particles on their hands directly from the dead to the living. So, in May 1847, Semmelweis ordered a simple but radical new rule. Everyone entering the maternity ward from the autopsy room had to wash their hands in a chlorinated lime solution. They had to scrub until the foul smell of the morgue was completely gone. The results were immediate and staggering. In his ward, the death rate plummeted from 18% all the way down to less than 1%. It even dropped below the midwives' ward. He had found the cure. He was a hero, right? Wrong. The medical community was outraged. The idea of invisible particles causing disease sounded like superstitious nonsense. This was years before Louis Pasteur's germ theory. More importantly, it was a massive insult. Doctors, gentlemen of science, were being told their hands were unclean, that they were the cause of death. They refused to believe it. They mocked him, ridiculed his findings, and in 1849, the hospital refused to renew his contract. He was fired. Broken and rejected, Semmelweis spent the next years trying to convince the world. But no one listened. His mental health collapsed. In 1865, his own colleagues had him committed to an asylum. There, he was beaten by the guards, suffered an infected wound on his hand, and just 2 weeks later, died of sepsis, the very same infection he had spent his life fighting. He was the doctor who was right to decades too early, and he paid for it with his life. It wasn't until years later, with the work of Pasteur and Lister, that the world finally understood germs. Today, we call Semmelweis the savior of mothers, but it took over 50 years for his simple, life-saving idea of hand washing to become standard practice. Think about that next time you wash your hands. Thanks for watching.